You're not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help.
Hello and welcome to another live installment of the Prospect Show here on ASTV Productions Limited. I'm your host, Graham Forsyth. Thank you so much to all the viewers that are going to be tuning in tonight to listen to what this 15-year-old player has to say. Pretty sure he's still 15. I honestly didn't check which day he was born, but he's number 28, Noah Asmundson of the Regina Canadians in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League. And Noah has had a chance to play with the Prairie Storm in the Saskatchewan AA Hockey League for the past 2 seasons. He got drafted 189th overall to the Brandon Wheat Kings in last year's WHL Draft, going in the 9th round. And we're also going to get into some other stuff like his background in water skiing tonight too. So sit back, relax, enjoy tonight's edition of the Prospect Show with number 8 of the Regina Canadians in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League, Noah Asmundson.
Wow!
And joining me now on this edition of the Prospect Show is number 28 of the Regina Canadians, Noah Asmundson. And Noah, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Just how's things going in White City, Saskatchewan? That's where you're from?
Things are going pretty good. Not a whole lot going on, but still kicking it.
Right on. And I said in the intro that you were 15 years old. I feel like you had your birthday already, or is your birthday coming up?
Yeah, you already had 16 in February.
All right on. So it's been a while for you being 16 now. It's April now, so it's been a while here. Just how's it been for you? Just turning that big 16. Did you have a chance to celebrate it with family and friends, or just with family with the way things are going right now?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I just celebrated with family and a couple of close friends, and I couldn't get a big get together for my 16th, but still pretty good. Enjoyed it.
Get any presents that you really wanted to get this year, or was it just the usual stuff that you usually get?
Well, I got a couple hockey sticks. I broke a couple right before my birthday, and then they helped me pay for my car, so that was pretty good.
That's amazing. Your first ever car?
Yeah.
Right on. Could you tell us what type of car you got?
Yeah, it's a 2013 Honda Civic. It's a hot rod.
Oh man, sounds awesome. I know that Honda Civics are pretty nice. I gotta say, it's a pretty awesome first car to have for you, and it's only a 2013, so that's awesome. And I don't know much about cars, but that does sound pretty good.
Nice.
So I guess I want to ask you this question. I decided to wear the golf hat tonight because it is Masters weekend. Are you a golf fan at all? Do you watch golf? Yeah.
I watch a little bit of golf. Not as big of a fan as my dad. He is watching it right now, but yeah, no, I watched a little bit this morning with him, but not nearly as big a fan as he is.
Yeah, and golf, I know some people love it, some people find it pretty boring. I'm in that category of people that enjoy watching like tournaments when they're on, especially the Masters at Augusta. Just a heck of a tournament. And even though you don't really watch much golf, did you have a chance to kind of go into any fantasy pools at all, or was that something that you?
I didn't do it for golf, but I did it for the other sports. But
right on. Yeah. Well, I had Justin Thomas winning, and he's looking pretty good so far. He had a strong day, so hopefully, fingers crossed that he ends up being the winner. Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully it keeps it going. Yeah. So let's get into you. Just some pretty cool stuff. I heard that I had a chance to read a article on the Brandon Weeking's website, and they said that you have a pretty big background in water skiing. Said that
Yep.
you've had a chance to win your age group in Saskatchewan 4 times. You placed fourth in Westerns twice. So just could you tell us about how you got into the sport of water skiing and doing it for competitively?
Yeah, so my dad used to just do it as a kid, like he'd just free ski and do whatever. And then kind of around like 2013, my dad got a ski boat for our lake and cabin. Then there's a ski course, and we started going through it. And I don't know, ever since I was about 6 years old, I've just been water skiing every summer. So got into it that way. And then in Saskatoon, that's where the competitive is for provincials. And we knew some people going to that, so we went. And yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I won a couple times.
That's amazing, and to have a chance to win in your age group in Saskatchewan like in 4 times, and just go to Westerns and place fourth twice. That's an outstanding achievement. So, do you have a place where you go to practice? Do you have like a cabin with a boat that you practice your water skiing at?
Yep, at our cabin, my dad bought some things that go around. They're called buoys, and he bought a couple of those, and we kind of made our own course out at the lake.
Right on, and it seems like it's a pretty fun time, and when you have as much success as you've had, I mean, who wouldn't enjoy that sport? So
Yeah, it's
for
pretty
uh,
awesome.
yeah, that's awesome. I gotta ask you this because there's always a lot of players that I have on not only this show but just on Coffee with Graham as well, my other show here on ASTV, and it always seems like they don't only play hockey or whatever sport they play. They play different sports too. And for you,
Yep.
just for water skiing relating to hockey, what would you say are the things that might translate over from water skiing to helping you on the ice?
Well, yeah, so like if I think of muscle wise, like it builds the forearms, the shoulders, the
Mhm.
back. It's a lot of if you're going pretty fast and you got to pull yourself around. Definitely say that. It's good for balance. You're on a small
Yeah.
ski, kind of selects your blades and stuff. And yeah, I'd say it's mainly arms and balance is what it helps me with the most on the ice.
Yeah, for sure. When you have to hold the rope the whole time, I feel like that's huge for the forearms, and I feel like you said, for balance too, for the core as well. All those muscles, you get them working.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's awesome that you've had a chance to compete in tournaments and water skiing. It's awesome that you've had a lot of success. Would you say that water skiing might be, up there as one of your favorite sports that you played in your life? Like,
Yep.
how many other sports other than like skiing and like water skiing and hockey do you play?
Yeah, I've played up my whole life. I played baseball until a couple years ago because kind of conflicted with my summers, and so I decided to go water skiing over baseball. And I also played lacrosse growing up, but gave up that to play more baseball. And now my only two sports are water skiing and hockey. But yeah, those were
Yes.
mine growing up.
Yeah. Yeah. So going into one sport, going taking more of a priority in one sport than the other, it seems like that's a trend for you. But it's awesome that you've had a chance to be able to enjoy not only hockey but water skiing throughout your whole life. So just
Yep.
I guess, yeah, that begs the question: when did you exactly start water skiing?
Well, I first got up on one ski when I was 6 years old, and then when I was seven, that's when I first started going through the course. But then I started competing when I was 8.
Awesome, that's amazing. And I had a chance to read that you've been playing hockey. Your family's told you, at least, that you've been playing hockey when you were still in diapers. So just uh when exactly do you remember exactly when you started like playing hockey, when you held a stick for the first time?
Yeah, no, my parents tell me because I don't remember, but I was about
Yeah.
just a little over 2 years old, and I got on some team. It wasn't much, but just pretty much just skating and slapping pucks around. It was the Yeah, I was like just over 2 years old when I started playing.
Yeah, and would you say just like that part of the game, just being able to have that puck on your stick is one of the biggest reasons why you fell in love with the sport so early on?
Yeah, no, it was just fun, and it was also you
Yeah,
meet a lot of people doing things like sports and stuff. So I always played sports growing up. It was always I'd go play hockey, come home, play mini sticks with my brothers, and shoot on the net. And it was always sports to be doing when I was growing up. So I really
yeah.
like doing that stuff.
Yeah, and mini sticks, it's always a
Oh
classic
yeah,
for hockey players growing up. Have you had a chance just in your lifetime when you went to tournaments and stuff to play the mini sticks in the hallways?
oh yeah. And then the manager always comes and yells, "You guys not be in the
Oh
hallways."
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Ruins all the fun because it's
Oh
fun
yeah.
until you get those noise complaints. And
Yeah.
yeah, in that Brandon Weeking's article, it said you said that you were, you know, around that time it was like in May, I think, when the article was written, you were doing some rollerblading, just simulating the on ice feel as best as you could. Has rollerblading been something that you've always been doing off the ice to simulate that on ice training, I guess?
Not a whole lot. I never really. I had a pretty rusty old pair of roller skates back then, but right when kind of everything shut down, quarantine, and the rinks were all closed, I just shot pucks and I bought a new pair of rollerblades and I'd rollerblade through the through White City and stuff, and I'd start stick handling with while I'd skate around and stuff, and yeah, it was good to keep my feet moving while we were all in lockdown.
Yeah, right on. Rollerblading's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It's really cool because it's convenient, I'd say, because you can't always be on the ice all the time, and especially when COVID hit last year, it was tough to be able to do that. And for you, just being able to do that, I feel like that was so huge for you. Now let's transition into talking about your dad. Just both of your parents have had a chance to play the game in their lifetime, and your dad Travis had a chance to suit up for the University of Regina for the Cougars back in his day. So just talking about
Yep.
how your dad has been able to kind of show you the way and show you the ropes throughout your life and in terms of just your hockey career.
I know he's always been super supportive. He's my biggest fan, and as I kind of about 6 years old, he became a coach, and he kind of coached me through like my spring hockey, and was an assistant coach during like my Prairie Storm games, and yeah, no, he just helped me coach, and he was self motivated. Like he really liked the sport, and he knew what things you get out of it, so he always pushed me to keep working at it, and yeah, no, fan, and he was always my coach growing up, so he helped a ton for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing to have a dad that has had experience playing hockey at the university level and having a dad that's been able to coach you throughout your lifetime is pretty awesome. What have been the biggest things that he's taught you throughout your life playing hockey?
He always liked helping me with my shot. I'd always work on the shot, especially on the ice, and yeah, he helped with off ice stuff too, like building workouts and stuff like that. So those are two of the things that he definitely helped me work on the most.
Speaking of workouts, what have been the things that you've been doing during the time from since the league shut down till up until now?
Um, well, I didn't really have much place to go, so I was working out at my house. I actually got a pretty good at home gym, and about 3 days ago, I just got a membership, or I guess a program with the Athletes Lab out in Regina, and I just started. I'm going to my first session on Tuesday, so I'll start doing that.
Awesome, and I bet that you're stoked to be able to start those sessions.
Yeah, I am. It's definitely easier when you start getting the train and stuff. Like, sometimes it can be hard to self motivate working out at your basement every day, but yeah, no, going to see a trainer, and I'm gonna go with a couple of buddies and teammates, so that'll make it good too.
Well, that'll be awesome, and it seems like you're gonna have a chance to be able to learn some great stuff during those training sessions that you're gonna have. So Noah, we're gonna go into our first commercial break here in the show. I'm assuming you're gonna stick with me, and it's gonna be awesome
Yep.
to keep talking to you after the break just about your experience getting drafted to the Brandon Wheat Kings in the 2020 WHL Draft coming up here on this edition of the Prospect Show on this Friday night here on ASTV Productions Limited. I'll be right back with Noah Asmundson, number 28 of the Regina Pack Canadians, in just a moment here. But first, a word from one of our sponsors here on ASTV. And it looks like Noah is running over to turn on his lights, and we're back here on ASTV Productions Limited for this edition of the Prospect Show. Noah, looks like you were getting a quick little workout in there, just going running and turning on the light, and it's awesome that you're able to do that because I forgot to tell you before the interview to turn on your lights. It was a bit dark, so it's nice to actually see your face more clearly. But back here on the Prospect Show with Noah Asmundson, number 28 of the Regina Pack Canadians in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League. And if you guys want to ask a question for yourselves, I forgot to mention this in the intro, you can drop it down on our Facebook stream where you're watching this live right now. And you can ask Noah a question that you want to know about just what he wants to accomplish in his hockey career moving forward and just anything in general about hockey. Maybe you want to ask him about water skiing as well, as he's had a phenomenal competitive water skiing career up until this point. But yeah, send it in our Facebook stream. I'll pop it up and Noah will be able to answer it. But I hinted at, well, I actually said that we're going to be talking about your time getting drafted to the Brandon Wheat Kings coming up here. You got drafted last April to Brandon in the 9th round, 189th overall. So just how did it feel to get drafted to Brandon last April in the WHL draft?
Yeah, no, it was pretty awesome feeling. Like I was hanging out in my room and on my phone, and name came on the draft board, and parents came into my room, and I had all these texts flowing in, and to be drafted to a team like Brandon was really awesome. Like they're such a great organization, good team, and no, it's pretty awesome. I was so excited. It was a great feeling.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you about the way you found out how it all happened. It was said in that Brandon Wheat Kings article that you were you were actually on a call with some of your buddies. Your dad was downstairs, and then they all kind of came together and supported you in the moment. Just what was it like to have that much support from just family and friends in that moment when you got the notice that you were going to you were going to get drafted to the Brandon Wheat Kings?
No, I was definitely feel like accomplishing and yeah, and have all your friends like support you, congratulate you, and your parents and other parts of your family was definitely a very moment I won't ever forget. It was very special.
Can you speak to us about just the process leading up to the draft? Just what was the process like during I guess the whole time before you got drafted into the dub?
Yeah, it was just because you couldn't really meet in person and stuff, kind of once it got closer to the draft because of COVID and all that. So there was a couple phone calls and online meets and stuff like that, and they had the questionnaires that we were filling out. So the process of it was just pretty much phone calls as we couldn't meet in person, but still good.
Yeah, and did you have a chance to to be in contact with? Were there a lot of teams that were having some interest in you, or was Brandon one of the few teams that had some interest in you leading up to the draft?
Yeah, I had talked to about 8 or 10 teams, sort of, and yeah, I did that.
And could you speak about just the days before the draft? Because you said that you were paying attention to every single pick that was, I think, anyways, that was happening in the WHL draft when it started. Could you speak about the days leading up to the draft and just the feelings that you were feeling about just your chances of getting drafted into the dub?
Yeah, no, it was definitely on my mind for at least 2 weeks before the draft happened. Every day I'd just think about and stuff. And yeah, when I talk to friends, like teammates and stuff, they pretty much the same feeling as me, like just kind of, wondering how it's going to turn out as well, and what's going to be like for them and also their teammates. And leading up to, yeah, there's lots of anticipation, but also excitement leading up to the draft.
And I forget because I read that article. Was it you paying attention to every single pick once the draft started, or was it you paying attention to every single pick that was going down in the ninth round?
Yeah, no, I was on a call with some of my friends. We were kind of sitting around talking about as each pick kind of went through, and we all had it open on our phones. And there's about 4 of us, and we were just talking about it. And we watched the whole draft, so yeah.
That's awesome. And I'm pretty sure three of the players that played on your team got drafted. I know that it was you along with two others. Ben Reich did, yourself, and I forget the other. But how cool is that, just going through that experience with just teammates that were also going to be getting that chance to get drafted into the dub?
Yeah, I know it was definitely very fun. Like, and like people like Ben, like you do a lot of hockey together, do a lot of off ice stuff, and it's good to see them get drafted. It's really you're almost like super excited for them, and because you know how hard they've worked and how much they really want it. So it's totally fun to see the guys around you to get drafted. It's awesome.
Could you speak about the relationship you have with Ben Reich? I talked to him in last week's show. He was the guest. He said that you've known each other since like you guys are like 10 years old. You guys, of course, played 2 years with Prairie Storm together. You guys are on the same team this year with the Regina Pack Canadians. Just speak about the bond that you and Ben have built up throughout the years that you guys have known each other.
Yeah, no, at first in hockey, it started as a rivalry. He was on Lumsden, I was on Prairie Storm, and then we first played together when we were 10 years old for the brick tournament for the Pats, and then um, he eventually came to Prairie Storm in the Bantam years, and I played 2 years there, and then we both ended up playing for the Pack Canadians this year, which is pretty awesome because we're really close friends and played spring hockey together, and we pretty much played with each other for the last 6 years on the same team. So now we've definitely become
Yeah.
close to that.
That's amazing to know that you guys started off as rivals and now you guys are really close friends. Is just crazy where life can take you, and it's awesome that you've been able to build up that bond with Ben. Just speaking about Wheat Kings assistant general manager and head scout, Doug Gasper, he said that he liked the improvement that you were showing in your game. He said, like, as the year went on, he said that you just kept getting better and better, which I feel like you did, especially after the injury riddled season you had in your first year with Prairie Storm back in 2018-19, and just talking about how you play hard, you give a solid effort, your skills are coming, and he says that he thinks you're going to keep working on them and getting better and better. So just speak about how those skills came together in your last season for you to be able to just keep on improving game by game to get to the place that you were last year.
Yeah, no, especially like during my Bantam years, first and second, because the first year I was hurt and I didn't play the last half of the year, but through my second year, we had a good workout program with our team, and that helped me off the ice to get stronger. And I also grew like 6 inches, so it helped quite a bit. And I became bigger,
Wow.
stronger, and I had a really good coach who worked a lot on the mental side of the game. So
Yeah.
I also got my starts built up. And yeah, no, it was a great team to play for, ready for the next seasons and for the draft and stuff. It was helped a ton.
Could you speak about head coach Mike Demelli, your teammate this year? Like, of course, Ben Reich spoke about nothing but praise for Mike and just talked about how he really helped his game and basically became a mentor to Ben. Just speak about the impact that Mike Demelli had on you throughout your 2 seasons playing in Prairie Storm.
I know he was a big impact. He showed me parts hockey I never really thought about, like mental side. Like get a whole mental program I went through a couple times, and he's just unbelievably smart coach. It's everything he would say was pretty much always right. He was a good coach. Like he knew exactly what he was talking about, and just very very smart guy.
And yeah, I feel like having a coach like that who emphasizes not only the importance of playing that good two-way game, focusing on defense, but focusing on that mental side of the game is so huge, especially for players that are playing at that bantam age level for sure. It's great to have a coach like Mike Demelli that was able to do that for not only you but your teammates in the past 2 seasons you played with Prairie Storm. So let's move back into just Brandon, just talking about how you said they were in your top 2 teams. By that, do you mean that they're in your top 2 favorite teams in the dub?
Yep. No, yeah. Like I always, it was just a coincidence, but I go to these Pats games. It was always against the Wheat Kings, and the Wheat Kings would always
Yeah,
beat the Pats. So I ended up starting kind of be away and cheer for the team who was winning. So became a
yeah.
little bit of a Brandon fan, and I had a family who was kind of lived in Brandon stuff too. So yeah, Brandon and the Pats were like my 2 teams kind of growing up. So it was really cool to also be drafted by Brandon.
And how huge is that going to be for you? Because Brandon, it's close to Saskatchewan. I feel like, and for you, just having just some family out there, you're going to have a chance if you potentially make the jump in the next few years here to have some family come out and support you. Of course, I'd assume that would be the play. Just how excited are you to know that you're going to be playing at a place for an organization potentially so close to home?
Yeah, I know it's good. It's about a 3-hour drive, so that's pretty good as compared to many other teams. So that was a huge, huge bonus. And yeah, I know having my family easily to come watch the games, if it works out that way, it's definitely a big bonus.
And you just spoke about how excited you were in that Brandon Wheat Kings article that they wrote about you, and I could feel the excitement. Just said that you couldn't pick a better team to be drafted by. You were absolutely stoked to be drafted by Brandon. Just to be able to be drafted there, just a dream come true for you. Just how does it feel just being able to grow up watching this team play against one of your favorite teams as well in the Regina Pats? Just how does it feel knowing that you're going to have a chance to be playing in Brandon in your WHL career when you eventually make that jump potentially?
Yeah, I almost feel surreal. Like it's, you always watch these guys and you see them as professionals, and you always see them as a player, not a person. But to be able to possibly be one of those guys is definitely something I work forward to, and it's definitely a big motivator. Is I always looked up to those guys, so it'd be pretty cool to be one of those guys.
And you of course have said like you grew up going to a lot of Pats games. Just being able to go there, make the drive out to Regina to be able to watch these games at the Brand Center. Could you speak about what it was like just experiencing the atmosphere and just the whole experience of them playing in the Brand Center?
Yeah, no, the Pats definitely have a die-hard big group of fans. I felt the rink a lot. It's a big stadium. And no, it was every time there's a goal, to always get up off your feet and cheer. It was definitely seems very exciting to be on the ice as a huge crowd and lots of noise, and it seems pretty awesome.
And could you speak about just the atmosphere with the Brandon Wheat Kings? Because you also said in that article that you got a chance to go see Brandon play at Westova Place when you were in a tournament in Brandon. Just speak about what it was like getting to experience that atmosphere of just that fan base in Brandon.
No, yeah, as another coincidence, they put the Pats in. It was like a big 7-1 game, and
Yeah,
no, it was super exciting. Even though my teammates were cheering for Pats, but I was kind of secretly cheered for Brandon. I give a little fist bump every time they scored, but
yeah.
no, it's definitely a good atmosphere there too. They got a big group of fans, and it seems pretty awesome.
And for you, you said that it was one of the most memorable WHL games you had been to. You saying like they pumped them 7-1. Would you say that is probably why it is one of the most memorable, just because of how lopsided the score was?
Yep, no, it was definitely because I was always on the fence if I was gonna cheer for the home team or if I wanted to cheer for the team who was winning the most and stuff. And that was kind of the sell where I switched over to being a Wheat Kings fan, and they were always the better team, so I liked watching them more.
Yeah, and I guess that was the moment where for I guess for you with your family growing up and with you growing up in the province of Saskatchewan, you switched over to that Manitoba side of it. And it's awesome that you're gonna have a chance to play for this franchise eventually, potentially in the future here. And you were saying that like you were eager to skate a camp in Brandon. I'm assuming you didn't have a chance to do that.
Nope, it was shut
No.
down
Yeah.
for they just
Yeah.
had a small
Yeah.
group of guys out.
Yeah, yeah. And you also haven't signed yet.
Nope.
Just for you, just how excited are you to eventually sign with this team if it ends up happening? Just would you say that is one of the biggest goals for you moving forward here into your I guess the next things you want to achieve in your hockey career?
Yeah, no, it's definitely in mine, and I am working towards things, and that's kind of the road I'm wanting to go. So, that's definitely something hopefully I'm looking forward to, and I use as a motivator.
Could you speak about the type of player that this Brandon Wheat Kings team can be getting when you eventually are able to make this jump into the WHL?
Yeah, defensive minded first guy, and I always work on getting pucks out on the wall and stuff. Is my current coach. That's a big thing for him too. So I'm working on that, and then Uh, I've been working on my foot speed and then pretty much just a shot. I got a really good shot, so can contribute as a goal scorer as well. That's what they'll be getting.
And just for you, you said that the benefit of time was something that you spoke about in that article, and it seems like it's gonna for you. You feel like it might be a long process into you making it into the WHL, but just for you, knowing you have this time to keep working on your skills, perfecting your game, and to potentially get into when you eventually make that jump to the next level. Just how grateful do you feel to know that you're going to have a lot of time to not only develop your skills off the ice in your off-season training coming up here, but you're going to have a chance to play for a great organization, Pat Canadians, in the years to come?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna make use of my time, especially like I want to be playing games, but without us playing games, there's even more time to work on the little things. So there's more time to do the off ice things and just work on other things and just like power play and penalty kill and breakouts. Compressor, you can work on your hands and different ways to go attack the net and work on your shots. So definitely take advantage of the time that we got right now to get ready for Brandon.
Well, Noah, we're going to. I almost called you Ben. Sorry, Noah, but we're gonna come back with you, Noah, here. after the break and just talk about your last 2 years playing in the Saskatchewan AA Hockey League at that U15 level for Prairie Storm. I'm joined by number 28 of the Regina Pack Canadians, Noah Asmundson, here on this April 9th edition of the Prospect Show here on ASTV Productions. Stick with us.
Welcome to Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot Mountain Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance, quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.
Back here on this edition of the Prospect Show here on ASTV Productions Limited. I've been talking to number 28 rookie forward of the Regina Pack Canadians, Noah Asmundson, in this edition of the show. Thank you to everyone that's been tuning in so far. Of course, I mentioned before we got into things in the last segment, just talking about how you guys, if you want to leave a comment in our Facebook stream, you want to ask Noah a question for yourselves, just talking about, if you want to ask him anything about his hockey career, maybe about his water skiing career, whatever you guys want to ask him, be sure to drop it in our Facebook stream. I'll pop it up and I'll be able to get Noah to answer it. But yeah, just welcome back. I've been talking to Noah about just his experience in last year's WHL Draft, getting drafted 189th overall to the Brandon Wheat Kings. We talked early on in the first segment about just his water skiing career and just talking about his start in hockey, where he started playing in diapers. That's what his family told him. But yeah, we've talked about some other great stuff too. Now, Noah, let's speak about your time playing for Prairie Storm in the U15 AA League in the last 2 seasons before making that jump to the U18 AAA League in Saskatchewan, playing for Regina this year. You had a chance to have an amazing season last year, just from where you were the season before, battling injuries. Just going into that first season, you only played 16 games. You put up 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. You had 38 penalty minutes as well in the regular season. You were battling through injuries. So just what was that season like, just battling through that adversity and trying to get back to your plain old self in terms of just getting back to that 100%?
Yeah, no, it really sucked. It was right before Christmas, and I got the 3rd degree separated shoulders, so I was out for pretty much 3 months, so I while the time I was out, I still stayed around the team. I go to practices just because I also wanted to stay ready for if I was able to come back later this season or even next season and won 12 games and stuff. But I played 3 games of playoffs at the end of that year, and we lost out in game 3. And then yeah, that injury it sucked, but I got a lot out of it as well just from watching the game and take like kind of a backseat view from everything going on. So I got as much out of it as I probably could.
Yeah, and for you, just suffering an injury like that, just devastating. And I feel like not only obviously for you physically, but for your mental state as well. Can you talk about just the mental state you were in during your process of rehabbing and getting back to playing games again?
Yeah, no, it was tough. It was, showing up to the games and seeing everyone getting ready, but I stay in my suits and it was definitely tough because all I wanted to do is be out there and like even when your team scores, you want to be on the bench or on the ice kind of celebrating, but you got to watch from the stands. It can be definitely tough, but the team is always good and still included me in things, so never never felt like I was out of the team, but it was definitely tough for during the games and stuff, not being able to be on the ice and on the bench.
Just throughout that recovery process that you went through to rehabbing that injury, what was your biggest takeaway from going through that? Just the biggest takeaway you had from that experience of going through an injury like a separated shoulder?
Yeah, it was definitely I learned patience out of it. Is I wanted to take off my sling early and I wanted to get back on the ice early as I was going on the ice and I still couldn't put my shoulder above 90 degrees, but I definitely got patience out of it because it was a long process and it actually took longer than we were planning on. But going through physio and stuff, but yeah, no, it was definitely a long time, but I got patience out of it.
Would you say just being able to experience just being patient, just waiting for things to come along and for you to get back to 100%, would you say that that made you stronger as a person moving forward and your life in general moving forward?
Yep, it was definitely a reality check. Like it made me realize how tough it is to be away from hockey. So when I came back, I was super excited, high energy, and I was totally ready to get back into it. So it brought another level of excitement to hockey. And I realized I enjoyed it that much more. So that was good.
Let's talk about just the games that you were able to play in the regular season as well as the games in the playoffs. Just for you coming into the league, just what was it like getting used to that U15 age group level of hockey? Just playing against guys that season that, some guys were your age, but some guys were a year older than you.
Yeah, no, coming in as the younger guy in the age group can always be tough sometimes or scary. But yeah, this is the season where we just started hitting, and all of a sudden everyone grew about a foot. So I was a little overwhelmed at the start, but then so I started kind of get more comfortable, and then I got hurt, which is unfortunate. But I and then in those last 3 games, playoffs though, I definitely noticed I was on a off, like I was starting to progress from the start of the season, even though I missed 3 months due to an injury. But I definitely still saw a ton of progression.
Could you speak about just the places where you saw progression in those playoffs?
Yeah, it was definitely my mental part of the game. I wasn't so hard on myself all the time, and I was get back out there, and I had a new level of energy, so I was kind of buzzing. And yeah, no, I worked on my shoulder a lot because that's what I heard, and I actually ended up getting a better shot as soon as I was out of rehab. So those are spots where I improved.
Yeah, and for you in your second season, you ended up scoring 28 goals, which was second in the team. Just you were second behind Ben Reichen in goals in that season, and just your second season in the league, which was last year. Wow, just an inspirational comeback, I'd say, just for you going through everything you went through the season before to just suffering the injury that you did, with you fighting through it and battling back to getting back to 100%. You play a full season of 31 games. You had 28 goals, 23 assists, 51 points, 40 penalty minutes in that regular season last year. And it seems like he came back and made the most of your opportunity. It seems. Just what was it like for you just preparing, heading into that second season with the Storm?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of off-season work. I was on the ice about 5 times a week, and then I was doing workouts and stuff. And I definitely did a lot during the summer to get ready for the season. When the season came, it was a lot more comfortable to get into things. I knew everything about our team and how we wanted to play, so I didn't have to worry about things like that. It was just how can I be better. So not having to focus on so much and just being able to play hockey made it easier. So I definitely that's why I improved my second season in points wise as well. Yeah.
And you had a chance to play alongside with Ben Reichen in that season. Just what was it like getting to play on a line with him, even though you guys built up a lot of chemistry, I feel like, and just past seasons playing with each other before that one? Just what was it like getting to play on his line? And I mean, getting to get down to why, I guess, like how you guys work so well as a line out there, in your opinion.
Yeah, no, it was. We definitely became friends, so that built our chemistry off on the ice and stuff. So we uh we had the we had a fast line too, and right away, like right off the first game of the season, we scored right away, second shift of the year, and right from there, we just knew that we were playing well together, and especially at the start of the season, we were clicking and we were doing a lot of good things.
Could you talk about the situations that Coach Mike DeMelli put you in last season?
Yep. We played power play and stuff this year, like I did last year. He put me on late in the games to he trusted me, which was good, to play defensively as well as offensively when we needed a goal in the last minute of a game, or you need to play defense in the last minute of a game. I was out, so he definitely put me out in the tough situations, which helped me to build more confidence and to make sure I knew what to do.
And you had a chance to wear an A last season. That's correct. You were an assistant captain.
Yep.
Yeah. So what was that like? Just being able to get that honor of being able to wear a letter last season.
No, it was pretty awesome. We had a good leadership group, and the big core of our team was we always knew each other, and we've been playing since we were young. So it was a good team to be a leader of, and I was honored to be an assistant captain of such a good team.
And for you, just talking about from year one to year two, just in terms of the maturity that you felt you showed out there, because I feel like going through something like the injury you went through, like I feel like that definitely made you more mature, just knowing that you can't take stuff for granted. And you coming in as just an older player, I feel like you were for sure more mature than you were in the first season. Just speak about the maturity that you showed from year one to year two with this Prairie Storm team.
There's definitely a lot in game preparation. I was little things like stretching more, and 'cause they say that's the big reason what happened with my injury is it was really tight. So I focused on kind of getting more ready mentally and physically, and I definitely matured for my pregame, and then on the ice I was more aware of my surroundings. It wasn't just I got one task. It was, I was watching like where my teammates are. So if I get a puck, how am I gonna get it to them? And definitely was a big part of my mental game. Definitely grew while I matured.
Now let's speak about just your game. Just looking off of that article, going off of that article off the Brandon Wheat King's website. It's a quote quoting you. It says that uh, I'm winning my battles for sure, and then you would see the puck on my stick, and I would be dishing it out and finding open space. Just for you, just in terms of that, in terms of winning battles and stuff. Just it seems like you got more physical in your second season. Can you speak about how that physicality served you well in your second year with this Prairie Storm team?
Yeah, no, I got bigger, taller, stronger that year, especially too. So I started to use my body more often. And when a puck would be on the wall, I use my body to take control of the puck, and I always had my head up, look for teammates and stuff like that. So that's definitely a big part of Wells that season was that I grew on was definitely winning my battles and using my body to be more physical.
And you've spoken about in that article how like your IQ has to be top of the line, and it seems like your IQ is great. You put up um, some a good amount of assists in that second season, just for you, just being able to find that open space and dishing the puck out. Just talk about how your IQ served you well in that second season after how many years spending it watching your team, just getting a different view from just how the game works from just getting to watch the team off the ice.
Yeah, no, it was definitely watching off the ice while I was hurt is a big part of it. Is I kind of understood how our team wanted to play and stuff, and where guys were going to be at certain times. So, especially playing with Ben, he was a consistent player. So, if I always won the puck in the corner, I always knew where he was going to be. So, having a good teammate and a good system like that made it a lot easier to play within it. So, that definitely helped out.
Can you speak about how, in terms of like IQ, your game really improved with you playing off the puck and finding that open space?
Yeah, no, it was ways I supported the puck. It was before, sometimes I'd be on the offensive side, almost kind of not worrying about the D side, but especially my second year, it was always defense first, and then using that to keep the puck in front of me. So whenever there was a loose puck, I could always step into it and then attack the net from there. So that was definitely where it improved.
And getting to play for a coach and Mike DeMelli, who emphasizes the two-way game so much. Just how did you feel that your two-way game took its next step last season?
And it was definitely, I always worked on the offensive side, but right before Bantam, I never really focused a whole lot on the defensive side. But definitely having a coach like Mike definitely helped me realize how important it is to be defensive first, because the better you are at defense, the more chances you have on offense. So definitely took that in and definitely followed that. And having Mike as a coach was definitely beneficial because he was a two-way guy, and I was I just couldn't ask for anything better.
And one thing that I noticed was just in terms of your penalty minutes from season one to season two. And your first season, you only played 16 regular season games. You had 38 penalty minutes. In your second season, you played 31 games. And even though you put up two more penalty minutes with 40, it seems like you were a more disciplined player in that. In that second season, can you speak about just how you became a more disciplined player with Prairie Storm last season?
Yeah, no, I played with more patience. So I wasn't because before my first season, I got a lot of stick penalties and stuff like that. So I definitely knew when it was my time not to use my stick in my second year, and then I catch up to him and I'd hit him, and I definitely got more discipline in my second year. Is I when people would chirp me around the net and stuff, I wouldn't, like try to hack back at him. I ignored him and stuff. So definitely matured and yeah, got better.
You had a chance to get called up to Prairie Storm's U18 team last year for playoffs. Like you mentioned before, just you played with them in the playoffs. You put up a goal and an assist in two games. So, how huge was it for you to come in after the season you had, to know that your success that you had, the skills that you were showing out there, your game translated into that U18 AA level, and you were able to help that Prairie Storm team in terms of just putting up a goal and feeding the guy for an assist.
Yeah, no, that team was really rolling into the playoffs, so it was easy to join them for the playoffs. The 2 games I played, and it was a series against Notre Dame. First game was definitely a good game. It was a 5th overtime game though, which was very tiring. But yeah, no, it was definitely good to see how I could still translate onto the scoring sheet from Bantam to the midget team.
How would you say that experience playing at the U18 level last year for 2 games in the playoffs, getting to experience like playoff hockey where it's so intense, at a level where you're now playing with guys, coming off a season where, coming from a league where you were the older guy this time, getting to go play with guys for a couple games that were a year, 2 years older than you, like, some guys probably 3 years older than you, just guys that were older than you. Just how did it feel for you, in your opinion, knowing that this would help you moving forward going into your U18 career?
Yep, no, I just use stuff from previous years, like what it's like to not be the tallest, the fastest, the strongest guy on the ice. Is I gotta use more of my smarts, and I gotta play smart around them. And I had 2 good line mates that I played with both games, and they were both 3rd years in the league. So having them kind of help me, and when if I'd have a tough shift or something like that, they were always there to get me back into it. So having good teammates on my line is definitely beneficial too. But it definitely helped me play against bigger guys and, find where I was weak and needed to work on, but find stuff I was still good at.
And what did you find were the things that for you that came to your attention that made you realize that I got to work on this heading into next season to continue my progression in my hockey career?
I know it was definitely keeping my head up a bit. I got knocked over a few times in the first game, and making sure I was making like good plays and not giving the puck away. There's a couple times where I just bobbled the puck, but I definitely realized that I needed to be more calm with the puck, and especially even by the second game, I was more calm with the puck and stuff like that. So I learned to not panic and just to rely on what I knew and what I was good at.
What were the messages from the coaches that they gave you in terms of just advice and just, I guess just praise after the 2 games after you're done with that U18 Prairie Storm team?
Yeah, no, I knew all 3 of the coaches before I went and played for them, so they were pretty good to me and stuff like that. And pretty much what they'd say was just, like it was good at how after the first game I definitely settled in and started getting a bit faster and doing more things with the puck. So they said I was good at bringing offense to the team.
Well, right on. And it seems like you were a consistent player this season with the Regina Canadians, and we're going to be talking about that coming up in the final segment here on this edition of the Prospect Show. I've been joined by number 28 of the 2020-2021 Regina Canadians in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League, Noah Asmundson, here on this edition of the Prospect Show on ASTV. I'll be right back with Noah, but first, a word from a few of our sponsors, well, a couple of our sponsors here on ASTV.
At Super 8 Winnipeg West, we have your comfort in mind with free Wi-Fi and free daily Superstart breakfast. We also have guest laundry facilities, a state-of-the-art fitness center, and a jetted hot tub. Sleep well in a spacious guest room equipped with plush new bedding, a 50-inch flat-screen HD TV, microwave, mini refrigerator, and Keurig coffee maker. Or book a suite with a kitchen, ideal for extended stays. Super 8 Winnipeg West, located just inside the perimeter on Portage Avenue.
a bit premature with me putting up the Prospect Show graphic here, but yeah, welcome back to everyone who's tuned into this edition of the Prospect Show so far. And if you're just tuning in, I've had the chance to speak to this young man, 16-year-old Noah Asmundson of the Regina Canadians. Of course, wears number 28, and Noah had some good success in his first season in the league this season. He put up 5 points in 6 games played. He had a goal and an assist as well in exhibitions. So the stat line with the 6 games was in the regular season. But yeah, I'm going to have a chance to speak to Noah now about what the season was like with the Regina Canadians. And there's still some time. If you guys want to ask Noah a question for yourselves, drop it down if you're watching on the Facebook stream, since I don't think you can comment on YouTube. But yeah, the Facebook stream is where you can drop down a comment. If you want to ask Noah a question about anything, be sure to drop it down in our Facebook stream, and I'll be sure to pop it up and then ask Noah the question, and he'll be able to answer it for you. But yeah, you were a rookie this year on the Regina Canadians. You had a chance to play in 6 games with the team this year. You had a chance to play in both exhibition games. Just for you, what was it like getting to make that jump from the U15 AA level to that U18 AAA level this season?
I know it was a good jump. It was first exhibition games really helped me get into it. It was the game that you definitely noticed right away, got faster and stuff, but I caught on and just made sure I focused on my defense part the most, and then after that it was way about offense. But definitely for the first games of the jump process, it was definitely just defense first, and it worked out pretty well.
What would you say was the transition like for you in terms of playing against not only older competition, even though you had a chance to play against some older competition for the 2 games that you played with the Prairie Storm's U18 team last year, but playing against some older competition as well as playing against players that were, AAA players now?
It was, you can definitely see there was a higher skill level, and I needed to adjust to that. So I had good coaches to help me to work on those things in practice. We were practicing 5 times a week, every day at school. So that was good to have coaches help me get through that skill level gap, and I adjusted pretty quickly.
And what was it like for you getting to play with players that are having a chance to play in the WHL this year now, and players that have, like yourself, been drafted into the WHL?
I know there's definitely a lot you learn from the players on my team, especially as they're all good players and they all got different pros and cons and stuff. So I definitely learned a lot from my teammates, especially from the older guys too, like the mental part of the game, but also the skill wise, like watching them in practice and learning new things that way is a big plus.
And what was it like for you getting to learn from head coach? I know his first name is Darren. It didn't show a last name on the website, but learning from a head coach and Darren this season.
Yep. Yeah, Darren McKechnie, he's a super good coach. He knows a lot about the game and little details and stuff, and he's definitely a defense first kind of coach like Mike. So I was used to parts like that, but he also works on the skills side, especially since we're not playing games. He focuses a lot on that right now, and he's definitely got a good system and similar to Prairie Storm. So it's definitely easy to adjust from Prairie Storm to Canadians.
Can you dive into some of the things that Darren taught you this season?
Yeah, it was different ways to get pucks out of the zone. I rely on chipping the puck out, but it was also he showed me how to use my body to get the puck out and different ways to attack the net. And we worked a lot on zone entries this year and picking up speed through neutral zone. So it was definitely things like getting faster and just working with system pretty much.
Now you committed to this team before the season, obviously. When did you exactly commit to the Canadians?
I'm not sure the exact date, but it was the same day as everyone. You were allowed to sign with the team right away. So kind of around this time, maybe, or it was maybe like a month after here. So
Yeah,
pretty much
yeah,
as soon as I could.
yeah. Thought you glitched out there for a minute, but
Yeah.
it's good. It's good to know that you're still with us, Noah. Yeah. For you just making that decision to commit to this Regina Pack Canadians team, just why did you decide that this was the place that you wanted to play your U18 AAA hockey at?
Yeah, no, for the team, it was definitely coach. Keck is a very good coach, and I've heard only good things about him. And people around the area have played for him, and they've definitely learned a lot. And so it's definitely coach, and also the fact that it's in Regina, so I didn't have to move away was more of a bonus, not a deciding factor. But that was also very helpful. But definitely the coach and the other teammates that were going, because it was a high skill team. So I knew I learned even more from my teammates and stuff. So pretty much just I knew it's the best place for my development was the play for Pat. So that's why I chose them.
And in terms of just the role, I guess the spot in the lineup you played in this season, what first off, what position were you playing this season?
I was playing right wing.
Right wing. And were you playing what what part of the lineup were you playing in?
I was more kind of in the third line spot. I was playing right wing and stuff, and yeah, that's pretty much where I played. Started at the fourth, kind of moved up a bit.
Well, that's awesome, man. You definitely showed, you deserve to move up the lineup with the way you finished off. You had only 2 games this season with 0 points. You were a consistent player. Just for you, how was that for your confidence in knowing that you were able to put up numbers on the scoreboard consistently on the score sheet, knowing that you were able to do this in your rookie season with on a very skilled Pack Canadians team?
I know it was definitely a big help of having good teammates as well to be able to get into scoring opportunities. All my teammates were good defensively, so gave us more chances in the offensive zone. So definitely a big part of it was having good teammates, but and having a good system. But yeah, no, I still found a way to put the puck in the net and to find open guys.
And who were the line mates you ended up playing with I guess at the end of the season, the short season you
Yeah,
had this year?
yeah, probably the most was Austin McLean and McLaren Paulson.
Nice. And how did you feel that you guys were able to gel and be able to produce offense throughout the time that you played with those guys?
Yeah, no, it was definitely easy as we were practicing for 4 weeks together before we had our first game, so we already starting to build some chemistry there. And no, they're also hardworking guys, so definitely made it easy to get stuff done in the old zone with them.
Can you talk about just the type of off season you had to get ready to play at this U18 level? I know we spoke about it earlier. Just in terms of like you did some rollerblading, you're really focusing on shooting pucks. Could you speak about just the things that you did to get stronger in your off season?
Yeah, no, it was definitely like right at the start. When rinks were closed, it was definitely a lot of at-home stuff and all that. But once the rinks opened, I was on the ice. I was doing power skating. I was skating a camp that's much ran by the Pat coaches, and I got my development through there. And I spent a lot of time on and off the ice working on hockey.
For you, having 5 points in 6 games played this season with the Pack Canadians, being a consistent player already in your young career here in the U18 AAA league in Saskatchewan. Just how excited are you to get back at it next season with the players that you guys are going to have coming in, knowing that you're going to be able to keep building your game? How excited are you for your future with the Pack Canadians in this U18 league?
I know I'm super excited. I already know some of the players that are coming in, so it looks like we're gonna have a good season. I just really hope it's a full season, unlike this year getting cut early. But Yeah, no, I'm very excited for especially the new guys, but the same guys we have, and I'm getting more and more excited the closer it gets. But
And what are you looking at in terms of just the goals you are looking to set for yourself heading into your second year with this team?
it's just self-improvement, making sure like on all parts of my game getting better. I'm gonna compare myself to previous season and stuff like that, and just make sure I just get better in all aspects of the game.
And what are going to be the things that you're looking to do? Are you looking to do some more rollerblading in the off season and just doing the stuff that you did last off season?
Yep, I'm pretty much doing or planning on doing what I was doing before, but maybe even a bit more. Like, 'cause I have my license too, so it'll be easier to get myself to the development places I need to be. So probably even a bit more.
Right on. Well, you're going to be cruising to the gym in your new car. You're going to be doing what worked for you last off season, because even though you were under a point per game this season with 5 points, it's still impressive for you as a rookie coming onto this team that was so skilled in the Pac Canadians and playing against the type of competition that you played against as well. So, Noah, I'm going to let you go now, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on tonight and talking about everything from your water skiing to your last 2 seasons with Prairie Storm to your WHL draft experience, and as well as this season with the Pac Canadians. I wish you nothing but the best of luck and nothing but success moving into your second year in the league. And hopefully you have a chance in the near future to make that jump to the dub eventually.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Of course, man. That was number 28 rookie forward of the Regina Pac Canadians in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League, Noah Asmundson. I'm going to let Noah go now. I'm going to be back after the break to just give you guys some final words on tonight's edition of the Prospect Show here on ASTV Productions. And welcome back for one final time on this week's edition of the Prospect Show here on ASTV Productions Limited. I have the honor tonight to be joined by number 28 of the Regina Pac Canadians, Noah Asmundson, and a rookie forward in the league this year. Put up some solid points with 5 points in 6 games played this season, and he was a consistent player. Seems like he's been improving every single season. Just looking at him coming back from that injury riddled season that he had back in 2018-19, where he suffered a brutal separated shoulder injury. It's nice to know that he was able to come back the season last year with Prairie Storm and put up the amount of points he put up, and it's nice to see that he was putting up the amount of points that he did this year against older competition. And yeah, hopefully he has a chance along with everyone else in that league, and just everyone in hockey coming up this season to have a full season. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we get to see that happen, because it's going to be a lot of fun to see what these teams can do, especially in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League come this season coming up this year. But yeah, that's going to do it for this edition of the Prospect Show. Special thanks to Noah Asmundson for coming on tonight. Special thanks to you, the viewer, for tuning in. Thanks to everyone who checked out this show while we were live. Your support means so much to us. And also a special thanks to all of the sponsors that were showed in tonight's edition of the Prospect Show. I'll be back on the network for the Prospect Show next Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time here on ASTV Productions Limited. It's going to be a lot of fun. The guest announcement will be coming in the probably the week coming up, you'll be able to check out who the guest is coming on our Facebook and our Instagram at ASTV Productions, as well as our Twitter at Amateur Sports and TV. But I've been your host of the Prospect Show, Graham Forsyth, signing off now. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday night. Go out and I guess stay home and enjoy the Masters tournament weekend. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be awesome to see who's going to be getting that green jacket on Sunday. But until Friday, folks, I'll see you then. Stay safe out there. Have a good one, and see you later. See you guys.